fight, every moment is dream. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Science going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Like a flag, every moment is stream. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels burst like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Tires calling for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. It's like a flag, every moment is stream. No TV, we're living the dream. Strap me in, fuel me with untamed speed. Data in the storm, all the rush I need. Glitches on the edge, chaos in the stream. Sim racing paradise, unraveling the sea. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. It's like a flag, every moment is stream. No TV, we're living the dream. Flashing lights in the dark, baritone hum. Engines scream till the wild hearts succumb. Virtual roads where the asphalt sweat fire. Chasing glory through the chaos of desire. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment is stream. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Science going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. It's like a flag, every moment is stream. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels burst like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Tires calling for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. It's like a flag, every moment is stream. No TV, we're living the dream. Fuel burns in the glow of the pixel blaze. The rubber moves roll with a fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines climb. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Turn the wheel to the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul.
And welcome back to Nerd TV for another Smoky Mountain Sim Racing Cup Series race live from Talladega Super Speedway, where we're gonna go 94 laps here in this race here as we get our countdown to green underway by Icon Apparel Company, your choice of product for anything customized t-shirts, hoodies, hats, gloves, anything you want for your sim team. Head yourself to iconapparelcompany.com. But here we go. Weather and track facts here this evening for tonight's race. 72 degrees on the sky, 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Way more comfortable than my part of town, which Titusville, Florida, ranked 95 degrees, almost 100 degrees out here after index. It is stupid hot, but here we go. 0 mile an hour, but cloudy. That's some very stagnant weather out there this evening. 3 green-white checkered attempts, and tires are probably not really going to be a thing here this evening. My name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty on the interwebs. Not Jason Rockefeller, but the producer is also commentating. The man of 1,000 hats plus one, Dustin Logston. It is your track. You got excited when Jason said I couldn't make it.
I tell you what, man, I love having J-Rock in the booth because you and Jason are a dynamic duo when it comes to the booth. But when he said he was not able to make it tonight and it was Dega week, I was like, bet, let's go. For him if there was any race that he could not make, I'm glad it's this one because you know me, Jeremy, I love this track.
It's your bread and butter when it comes to the Super Speedway series that you like to run from time to time. And yeah, you can go 5 wide, not a problem. As long as you guys can hold on to the wheel, you're going to be just fine here. This is going to be a very fun race, even though the driver count is down. We went over this year after year, how things get into the playoffs and numbers for the drivers that aren't in the playoffs kind of just not show up. That's just a thing. That's part of sim racing because they're not tied to a partnership and they have to participate, right? So, but we still have, looks like 17 drivers, I think, on the entry list right now with just a couple minutes left in practice. So 17 cars, as long as they're all packed up, Dustin, they should be able to do just fine out there.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, 17 drivers. It's the playoffs have started, so the driver count is down, but like you said, as long as they can maintain a pack, it's going to be a solid run. The issue is green flag pit stops, Jeremy. You know as well as I, pit stops can make or break a race, and they are exceptionally more devastating if you do not hit your pit stop at a super speedway because everything revolves around draft help. Everything is about that pack racing. With this draft package, you got to have a number of cars with you to maintain to stay competitive. If you come in too shallow, if you come in too conservative, it's going to bite you big time. You come in too hot trying to make that time up, it's going to bite you big time. Drivers are going to have to be on the ball tonight. And not only that, but these championship drivers, Jeremy, right there is your standings right now, your top 20, mind you, top 15 are the drivers that are in the chase, minus the Dylan Picklesheimer there is no longer part of the league.
Sure.
Yeah, sometimes tempers and mouths kind of get the best of us. I've been a victim of that myself, Jeremy, in my past. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
But I didn't say nothing.
No, you mouthed it. I seen it. I've got all the eyes, my man. But everybody else in the top 15, they're still going. Nate Lesko, solid lead right now coming into second race of the playoffs, 63-point lead over Austin Wheeler. But look at the race right now from second on back. 2-point spread between Wheeler and Braxton DeWeese, going to be super tight there. And then only 6 points back from DeWeese is Nick Kaufman. And then 10 points back is Blake Treywick. So very, very tight. And Jeremy, we're at a wild card track. If there was ever a wild card track, this is one of those, and it's in the playoffs.
100% here. I'm going through the field. There's a couple of call outs when it comes to paint schemes. We got the Kyle Larson, Terry Labonte throwback, the yellow and red HendrickCars.com, aka Kellogg's paint scheme out here to add on to the Fruity Pebbles that's been running for quite a few weeks
These
now.
cereal schemes, man, they're getting me. I love it.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It's just a highlight that we have to call out every single Thursday night here. And here we go. We are going qualifying. Practice just officially ended here. And, practice. There wasn't, about 12 times posted out of the 17 or 18. So practice at Talladega, Dustin. Do you need it? Do you not need it? That's, you can talk about that because you did a weekly series. And I've actually done it too. I kind of just show up in the last like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, let me just make sure the steering wheel feels good. Let me make sure I kind of, have where I want my seat, that kind of thing, and then I'm good. But here we go. We're going cameras off, full screen on. Let's ride on board with some of these drivers.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, like you don't need, you really don't need practice here when it comes to this. We've ran enough, and I say we as in the sim racing community. We have ran enough Daytona, enough Talladega, and I will even throw enough Atlanta and with their new crappy configuration and enough iRacing Super Speedway to know how to draft when it comes to these tracks and know how to get it done. You can move from the back to the front super quick as long as you can, maintain draft, know where the momentum's at, and make the right calls. You can go from back of the field to fighting for the lead in just a matter of 2-3 laps. So it's that part's not really needed. Now qualifying, it all depends. I like to qualify, Jeremy, because I want to try to get a pit stall that is the furthest to pit exit that I possibly can. If you can be the pole sitter at Daytona and Talladega, it is by far probably the best pit stall there, with the exception it does get greasy there, usually in the first 2 to 3 pit stalls. But when you drop the jack and you let it rip, you don't have to worry about speed because you're not even going to be up to pit road speed before you hit that line. And it usually gives you a little bit of advantage trying to race off. That's about the only, caveat and the only bright side to trying to qualify here at plate races. Otherwise, Jeremy, I mean, it's what the driver can do and making the good calls and following the momentum.
Yeah, I'd say the pit stall is probably the best thing because you can easily pass here. Everyone knows Talladega. You can just do it, right? Maybe not as easy as some other cars and whatnot, but these Cup cars, they can still get kind of racy at times. Riding on board the 48, Mr. Austin Wheeler out here as he's trying to continue his top 5 starting streak. He's been on a tear on qualifying, but things kind of reset when you get to these 2.5-mile super speedways. And I'm going to still have to apologize. Something on the SDK side, not really talking well. There's no way in qualifying you're 80%
that's RPM.
Throttle for your whole lap.
I have confirmed that ring is RPM. That is not throttle input. That is an RPM gauge, which makes sense because these Gen 7s have 5 gears. So when we were riding on board Austin Wheeler and he was running in 4th as he was crossing the line, that bar was almost all the way filled up because it was up to 8,500 RPM, 8,400 RPM. And then when they switched to 5th, that's when they run about 75 to 7,700 RPM, and we're riding on board with the 56 Mustang, piloted by Blake Trawick, and that's why you can see that bar's not all the way filled up. But speaking of bars, Jeremy, you got a couple talking points.
Bars.
Yeah, speaking of bars, you got a couple
Dropping
talking
a rap
points.
Here?
No, not a wrap.
Okay.
That fuel bar at the bottom, that is an estimation. They can estimate about 36 laps per fuel run. Now, again, that's going to vary depending on how much they save or burn. If they're out front leading, they're going to burn more. If they're in the draft and they're going 3/4 throttle, that you can still maintain draft, you're going to save some. So it's going to be an estimation on that bar as well. So just keep that in mind as we go further forward with this.
All right, there you go. Thank you for the clarification on our semicircle bar there. That is RPM. You see right there, 4th gear. That thing is almost tacked out. It's always tough to know what gear to be in because, I don't know. I feel like the higher the RPM, the better, but some engines aren't just optimized for the highest sometimes you need to go a little bit lower to really optimize the power of the engine. So we got 13
Except for
times
here.
posted here.
I will say, Jeremy, qualifying here, and Gen 7s are not my. I don't like them. They're a hunk of
Let's
junk.
listen to our expertise from the Gen
But,
7, Mr. Dustin Loxton.
Fourth gear is typically your qualifying gear. I mean, you've seen Braxton DeWeese. He ran fourth gear there. He's top of the charts right now. You want those RPMs tacked up high for your qualifying. Fifth gear is when you're running draft packs because the speeds are going to be higher. That's your fifth gear. So look at fifth gear here at Daytona and Talladega as your overdrive gear, or what would be an overdrive gear in your typical, A to B car going back and forth to work.
There you go. I didn't realize Dustin was an expert in our Gen 7s, but he's got the knowledge.
Not
That's
an
why
expert.
he's subbing in for Jason Rockefeller
Not an expert.
this evening. I'm trying to think of the name that I was supposed to call you, but it's okay. Dustin, it is race time. So we're going to go over the grid here for tonight's Talladega Super Speedway race number 2 of the chase. Starting in lineup, Braxton DeWeese in car number 8, going to be P number 1 with the Mustang Blake Treywick starting in second. Third place, row 2, Nick Kaufman in the 95. Austin Wheeler starts in fourth. Fifth place will be Al Likens in car 6. To the outside, Daryl Johnson in car 8. Row 4 and 7th will be Steve Harden into his outside the 94 car of Brandon Finley. Row 5, 9th place Kevin Bullock. To the outside to round out your top 10, Nate Lesko. 11th place will be Bryce Hedgecock. And to his outside, Dana Rogers, car number 1. Row 7 and 13th, Christopher Cash. Followed up with Christian Marcelli in the 104. Row 8 and 15th, Eddie Baker. Car 84, 16th place will be Mitch Diamond. Row 9, Dylan Ellis in the 99, Jeremiah Nelson in the 54. And that's it. 18 cars lining up for 94 lap stage break. Caution will be flown after 10 cars cross the line on lap number 30. So it's about a third of the way. And then they got about 60 laps exactly if they can go green to the end. As this is the Smoky Mountain Sim Racing.
I hit the wrong button.
Yes, it is. You are correct.
I totally hit the wrong button on that one there. We meant to put that nice, neat little Smoky Mountain Sim Racing Cup Series logo in the top left, which will be running here for just a few more weeks before that changes to a Truck Series logo. And Jeremy, I had a big brain fart moment and hit the wrong button.
Okay, the button wasn't wrong. We are watching this league at this platform of Nerd TV, so you're not wrong.
Okay, my timing was
Yeah.
wrong. My timing was wrong.
That's okay. It's okay. What do we expect with the smaller field? It's playoffs, but it's smaller field. So usually when smaller, drivers just typically get more comfortable. That's just a psyche thing, I think. If you join into a 5-car practice session, you think they're just going to go, balls to the wall, right? 30 cars, if it's playoffs, you're like, okay, maybe I should raid out to the back half of the field. But with the smaller field, do you think they just go ham here in stage 1?
I don't know if going ham is going to be the right word. I mean, everybody knows what their cars are going to do. They've practiced. They've ran enough laps in these things at Talladega to know how the draft works. Honestly, I mean, I think we're going to have 2 wide racing, and that's probably going to be about it for a while. A lot of playoff drivers in the field right now, Jeremy, that, and right there they are. Most of those drivers, playoff drivers, they don't want to be collected in a big one. No fast repairs for this series. They want to try to increase their points, so they're going to sit here and take it easy. In order to finish first, you first must finish. So, again, getting to that lap 90 or so, lap 85. When lap 85 hits, even lap 80 at the earliest, that's when stuff is really going to start getting dicey.
1000%. So there you go. That's Dustin Loxton's call on what's going to happen in this race. As you see right there on your right-hand side of your screen, all the playoff drivers, which makes up, 5/6 of this field almost? 4/6?
Right about, yep.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Chats are already
percentage
lighting
of
up,
them.
too, for Braxton DeWeese. So, again, they're already lighting up. They know what's going on. They're ready for a freaking barn burner here, man, at Talladega.
Of course, Weezer8 on the YouTube saying, let's go, Braxton Deweese, our weekly entertainer there for the 8 car. Starting P1, cheering them on. Here we go. Green flag. Green flag. Green flag is in the air. And even start there. It looks like, is that the 0? Back there, made a little door contact to the 20. 0-1 to the 20. It's getting settled out pretty quick here. Now, Dustin, when they go 2x2 for a while, the bubble that comes off the back of these cars, do we expect a lot of 2 wide, a lot of 1 wide? How do you think this draft's going to play out here in stage 1?
A lot of it's going to depend on how close these drivers get. I mean, in order to break that bubble with this Gen 7 package, much like the truck package now since the fall update, there is a bubble there. And if you try to close in on it as a single car, it can be done, but you got to poke your nose out. You got to try to break it in order to draw yourself in. It's much easier when you have a car behind you pushing you. You can close that bubble up, and you can see that top line. There's already that bubble gap in between a number of these drivers. And that's not going to help them out very, very much right now. That top line is typically in this package, Jeremy, is the dominant line. But it has to be organized. If it can get organized, fewer cars on that top line can really train by that bottom lane. But right now, as what we talked about before the drop of the green flag, it is 2x2 right now. Brandon Finley up there in the 94 and Daryl Johnson in the 60 up there right now. They're leading. Well, it's 60 on the timing charts, but 8 on the car, Jeremy. 8 on the car.
8 on the car. That's right. That's what really matters. The people viewing the track here. We're closing up lap number 2. The inside's looking pretty decent. Blake Trewitt goes to the top of the number 60, Mr. Johnson. Daryl Johnson, that is, at the line. Does Blake Trewitt get the side draft to complete the lap led? That is not going to be a thing. And I know you see car number 8, P1 on your side, but on my side, it is a beautiful Kyle Larson, Terry Labonte throwback there of the yellow and red Kellogg's car. You got 7-11. It's okay. We'll still figure it out. We're still side by side on the back straightaway, lap 3.
Yeah, you gotta love trading paints at times. Doesn't matter if you clear your folder out and re-download. It still does its own thing when it wants to, but right now, Blake Trewitt and that Mustang leading that top line. But you see that long line of cars on the bottom side, Jeremy, and this is what's going to be expected here. We're going to expect this 2x2 like this for quite some time for these drivers. The only time that this is going to play a factor and you're going to see everybody move down is when that pit... What's that?
You got an issue. 95, Nick Coffin hitting the brakes on the front straightaway here. Slowing it down. We're at 103 miles per hour. Way out of the draft all of a sudden. Just pulled out a line there in the tri-oval. And he is cruising at 90, dropping down to 80. I'm not sure if there's an issue with the car or if he's just doing something. He's getting back on throttle now. He's back up to 105 miles per hour. Not sure what's going on. He just pulls out a line right here and slows it on down.
Yeah, not sure exactly what's going on there with the 95, but that...
Is he picking somebody up? I think he is, actually.
That might... Well, I don't know. It could be. I mean, Tyler Bowling's coming up here, so that could be. Is he going to drop down in behind? That's what he's doing. So a little teamwork there trying to pick him up. Now, and I love seeing the teamwork, Jeremy. Absolutely love seeing the teamwork. You and I and Kenny and Steve have all ran a crap ton of laps. Your brother Brian as a team, and I love the teamwork. Bad thing is with fewer cars here, you don't know if that caution's going to come out. The only caution you know for sure is stage break, but you got to make sure that you don't go a lap down, because right now, Tyler Bowling was set to receive the lucky dog when that came out. If they come back around, if the pack comes back around and passes these two, then that means the 95 is going to get the lucky dog, and Tyler Bowling is still going to be slotted a lap down. Actually, 2 at that point in time if they come back around and cycle.
Yeah, as long as they can stay hooked up like this, I think he's going to be okay for stage. The speed, it's a half a track right now. It's literally a half a track difference. And 186 is the miles per hour on Nick Kaufman right now versus the pack at 190 to 195, depending on which car you are in line. So about a 6 or 7 mile an hour difference. That's not a crazy amount. That should be sustainable for, I think, personally, before stage, as we're only on lap number 6. We got another 25 to go before we get to that marking. on the field, or in the race rather. Here comes the 6 on the inside. Al Lyken's going to try to make some passes over the 1, over the 20, looking underneath the 94 now, Finley. And just like that, the air bubble is going to stall him out a little bit.
Yeah, and it's that momentum. These cars are heavy momentum driven, Jeremy. Like, if you lose just any minute amount of momentum, you feel it and you notice it on the track. That's why drivers tend to have a hard time backing out of the throttle when, they see smoke, they see cars wrecking and stuff like that. And no, iRacing doesn't throw a yellow. That's why they have a hard time backing out, because they know that momentum is going to be important, and it takes forever to try to build that back up. And that's what you've seen. Al Likens jumped down, was trying to get something going. Now that inside line has to build that momentum back up to try to get back up there, where that top line has maintained that momentum the whole time. So it's going to be a teeter-totter back and forth all race long.
Yeah, it's so tough to try to play that building of the momentum that you're talking about when the air bubble just physically pushes you backwards. It's like you have to play with the side draft, be able to break it at times where it's important to, or else you get caught in that huge bubble. And you saw him, he made the passing of 2 cars, the 1 and the 20, very easy. And then all of a sudden, it just looked like the air punched him in the nose. And then now he's behind the 1 again here on turn 1 and turn 2, lap number 8. The top 4 or 5 are all single filed in the middle group, Dustin. We just see at the bottom or top that Blake Trawick is running this thing in the middle as they're on board the 60 car, Dale Johnson.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, the side draft is a big thing here in a not so good way. It's not like the Legacy Gen 4s or anything else to where you could side draft and it actually speeds you up. Here, it actually slows down both drivers that are side drafting. You can use that to your advantage, but that's why you see so much space in between the 2 lines right now. And as long as that bottom line doesn't start encroaching up on that middle line, Blake's running the perfect spot right now. The side draft's not affecting them. They're getting good runs. If that bottom lane starts shifting up, say later in a run, to where they start trying to take those corners a little differently, expect that middle line to shift up a little higher towards that wall to maintain that space.
Yeah, as you still run side by side there, they're creeping up a little bit here with Christopher Cash on the inside. They're getting a little bit of edge on the side by side with the number 20 back to Brandon Finley. This is the best chance the inside's had in about 5 laps. He's got the nose advantage. Here we go. The 94 Finley actually released Trawick a lot, and it created a huge checkup on the outside. And that inside momentum right there, they got what they needed momentarily. The 6 drops in front of the 56 now. Al Likens versus Christopher Cash. Al Likens lead this lap.
Yeah, Al Likens got a big push there from Blake Trawick, and that Mustang, that top line starting to go. And you've seen that momentum. The second that Likens jumped out from behind Chris Cash, you've seen him slow down. And then it took a little bit for the 60 of Daryl Johnson to get back up to try to maintain and build that momentum. And now they got it going again. But just that quick, that momentum can shift in a heartbeat, and it could be devastating. And it takes a little bit. And that's something as a driver that they have to try to plan and prepare for. If a driver, pulls out, what can I do to try to do momentum? For me, in these cars, knowing the side draft the way that it is, because it's like that in the trucks a little bit, and I do it in the trucks. If that momentum drops like that, I'll get up and side draft that car next to me, which would have been the pusher. So if I was Chris, I would have side drafted Blake Trawick, who would have been the pusher for Likens, because then that's going to sit here and slow him down and not allow him to get up to Al Likens to give him that push to maintain that momentum. So you got to change the mindset a little bit when it comes to these Gen 7.
And Christopher Cash got that there as he goes up to the 3rd lane and drops all the way back to the tail end of the field. As the outside still has a 2-car single file command lead over the 60 of Daryl Johnson. There goes Blake Trawick, who just wants to lead every single lap. It seems like he shuffled Christopher Cash. He had the line running pretty well with Al running up front, but then he goes to the 3rd lane to pass the 6. It pushes him to the inside. I know it's a way to keep these engines cooler, yes, but Blake just looks like he's very comfortable on that center lane up front.
Yeah, very comfortable up front on that center lane. Something we have to keep in mind. That could have been a momentum thing. Blake, along with a lot of these drivers, pretty much all of them, they know momentum is important. With the 6 of Likens drifting up like that, it was either sit here and bump him and they were going to lose that momentum. It was going to check the entire high side up, or he could sit here and take it to the outside. Al Likens had enough room to drop down to the inside, and that high line momentum didn't end.
Right through turns 3 and 4 right now. They got 3 cars single file. Does the 94 car Brandon Finley go to the inside or maybe go to the outside to push the 56 to the bottom to continue that circle rotation of drivers leading this race? This time at the line, they all stay stagnant, single file top 3. We're on lap number 13 of the scheduled 94 laps here this evening. And I'm going to take a quick moment to shout out the 3 partners here on these Thursday night races. It allows us to continue to do this. They're part of the reason anyways. So it's going to be BK Designs. So if you're looking for high quality custom iRacing paints for just $25 or $15 redos, look at BK Designs on Facebook and they'll give you a sleek professional car or a bold eye-catching design. And then you have Wheelers Painting, which is Wheelers Painting and More, turning houses into homes. And then also Whitehead Auto Detailing, making sure your vehicle looks new to you as it ever has been before. And that's all 3 of those products are going to be found on the Facebook.
On the Facebook. Not Facebook. The Facebook.
The Facebook.
The Facebook. Now, something we haven't talked about, Jeremy. We were talking about momentum, talking about these drivers up towards the front. But something we haven't talked about is some of these drivers in the back, like Austin Wheeler. He's your second place playoff driver right now, just behind Nate Lesko. And he's back there in 13th. Eddie Baker, who had a strong run at Charlotte, back there 13th and 14th, battling with Austin Wheeler. Dylan Ellis is back there. Nick Kaufman, we know, dropped back to help out. You know, these are all drivers. They could be doing this. Even though we have a smaller field, we're at Talladega. That big one could be ever looming at any point in time. And Jeremy, you and I, more laps at this track than we really want to admit, but we played both strategies. We played the Al Likens, Daryl Johnson, Blake Trawick up at the front, doing our thing, trying to make sure that if anything happens, it's going to be behind us. And we've also done the Bryce Hedgecock, the Eddie Baker, the Austin Wheeler at the back here, trying to play it safe. That way, if anything does happen, I don't have to worry about ARCA braking behind me. I just slow up and just kind of, chug along past whatever takes place.
Or if you're an older NASCAR fan, the Dale Jarrett. Where did he come from the last 15, 20 laps from the back to the front after he had just cruising without even being on camera, really? And that last lap, the outside really picked up a lot of cars. It shifted some positions quite around. And now on this lap, it's going to allow Al to try to play the draft game, going high-low, high-low. He's trying to maybe control Daryl Johnson at the top here. Blake, first time, he's going to find himself leading the inside lane. He gets a hell of a shove from Braxton DeWeese through 1 and 2.
Yeah, as we're riding on the A-pillar right now of Al Likens. Big push by DeWeese there to Trawick, trying to get it going, but they pushed themselves out. The rest of the line didn't get caught up, and there you see that momentum drop. And right now, Al Likens up leading that top lane, and he's got pushing from the 60 of Daryl Johnson, and now here's that momentum back again, and Braxton DeWeese all over the rear bumper of Blake Trawick.
Yeah, hell of a push. He's going to have to release this sooner than later to get that engine cooled off, but he is right now all over it, and just enough for that. There goes Trawick.
Oh, they're going to split.
Oh, no, Trawick didn't go up high enough, and Al said, nope, I don't want you leading this top lane again, so I'm going to split you with Daryl. Don't know if that was the call. They're going to try to go 3 wide here for just a little bit. This is the first time we've seen 2 cars tandem on the outside lane in a 3 wide situation. Let's take a minute here and see how this works out for them.
Yeah, and I mean, you can get a good 2-car tandem going. They don't have enough up there. Typically, if you're going to go to that 3rd lane at Daytona Talladega, you better make your moves and make them fast, because there's no room for your pusher to get any air whatsoever, or very little, so it makes it hard. And you see Al Likens falls all the way back with Daryl Johnson back to 13th and 15th now. And now that momentum on that high side, because of that split, you see what happens is Al Likens, Daryl Johnson trying it again on that top side.
Yeah, they fell back too far for me to think that that's going to work for those two, but they're going to give it another go. Why not? It's only stage 1 to stage 2, guaranteed caution coming up in 12 laps from this timer, actually 13 laps rather. as the inside has the numbers right now with the 8, the 27, the 0165. Look at the hardened train on the inside, minus Braxton DeWeese. That is a 3-car team. Solid effort here from these guys.
Yeah, and I mean it's real solid. Like I said, that's the thing. I mean, teammates, whether it's official, unofficial, doesn't matter. You got to have teammates. You got to have friends out there. And right now, Bola Cardin Racing, they've got it linked up again, second, third, and sixth, but they're all nose to tail. As Steve Harden, Kevin Bullock, and Mitch Diamond in the 65 is back there as well, fourth on that inside line, and they've got it going. So this is where that teammate camaraderie really plays a factor when it comes to tracks like Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah, once they get hooked up, they know each other, right? Racing with each other each and every single week, not just racing, but sharing notes and just talking, maybe in a group text, just, having some fun while doing some testing. And it is showing here early as they kind of just quietly found themselves in a great spot here on the inside lane. Blake repeating now to the outside in front of Brandon Finley, which has been a very familiar sight to see these top 3 on the outside lane, tandeming 1, 2, 3 up there. But they just can't catch Braxton this time. This is a little bit of change of pace.
Yeah, they're struggling to get that momentum, to get organized up there. I mean, they've got speed up there. They've got the ability. They've got speed up there. I mean, you got Blake Trawick there. You got Brandon Finley. That's Nate Lesko, your current playoff point leader right now back there. And then you got Dana Ryan back there as well. But that third lane trying to come back again. You got Al Likens, Daryl Johnson trying to get something going. I don't think there's enough. They're going to need another car, maybe 2, to really be competitive like that.
Yeah, they really are. They might, I think at least 2 more. I see 3 right now. I got the 56, the 94, and the 20. They are hooked up on that center lane. They are falling back to the race leaders on the bottom. So I don't think 3 cars can even do it. Right now we see there's the number 1, Dana Ryans. He's going to try to help that third lane. They're going to give it up and get the slipstream off the 20 of Let's Go. Now it's back to 2 wide back straightaway, lap 21, 10 laps to go before stage end. But yeah, to run the top, Dustin, with these cars, I know these are not our favorites, and I'm sure you're grinding your teeth at watching your favorite track with your worst car.
You know me so well, Jeremy.
They are going to need an army on this outside lane to do anything, which is very counterproductive of what we love super speedway racing for, which is 3 wide racing.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We up here in the booth, as well as all the viewers out there, we get the big picture on this. Okay, every time that Al Likens and Daryl Johnson and now Dana Ryan, when they would go to that third lane, all they did was, they moved up a couple spots, but then it fell back, and all it did was kill the momentum for that second lane. We've seen that second lane just go further and further and further back every time that they go and make this move. And we see that, but again, when you're a driver in there, it's tunnel vision. You don't see the big picture. You don't see how it's affecting or anything else. And right now, I feel they're doing more harm than they are good at this point in time because, I mean, now you got Chris Cash up there leading that center lane, but again, we're 3 wide back there. You got 3 cars on the top side, and look at how far back they're falling now. Chris Cash right now is lined up with the 4th, almost 5th car in line on the inside. So how much is it helping and how much is it hindering at this point?
5 cars cannot even get it done on the center lane. Inside has the numbers, even though they're spaced out. This is the way for them right now. And look who they're catching, Dustin. Look, about a quarter of a straightaway ahead. I said they were going to make it.
This was my fear. This was my fear.
Even with help, very generously from Nick Kaufman to jump out of line and help him out, still cannot get Tyler Bowling. At least one of his laps recovered as he jumped into the race late. Nick Kaufman being a fantastic partner, and just they're going to still fall to the clutches even though they're 3 wide still back there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's tough. I mean, awesome job. Like you said, I mean, hats off to Nick Kaufman trying to help a teammate out, but he's not going to get the lap back. Unfortunately, at this pace, at 7 laps to go, these guys are going to get past. That's going to put Nick Kaufman a lap down. He'll get the lucky dog. And it's not going to help as far as laps, with regard to Tyler Bowling. So it's not without effort. It was a valiant effort by those two, a valiant effort by Nick Kaufman, but just not going to work out to play for both drivers there. But a lot of shuffling right now as Blake Trawick gets shuffled out. He jumped up to the third lane, and then he gets left out all by his lonesome, along with Austin Wheeler is out there in that second lane all by his lonesome. He drops to the inside to try to build momentum. Now Braxton DeWeese is going to be up on that top side. He's going to be side by side trying to get around Nick Kaufman and Tyler Bowling. That's going to put Kaufman a lap down. It's going to put Bowling another lap down. And this is just shuffling everything up, Jeremy. Drivers trying to bid for everything with 6 laps to go before stage break.
Yeah, and I just got to notate, too, that not only did Tyler still lose the lap, this also is going to take away the lucky dog that he would have gotten, because that will go to the 95, pending no incident points at the time of caution. So they got the 94 Finley. He's back behind him. Teammates working together to try to get things back up. But then you got Harden racing up there, dropping to the inside. So we got 6. Here we go. We got our first 3 wide racing, Dustin. 3 by 3 by 3 all the way through.
Yeah, Daryl Johnson, excellent job pulling from the midtown to uptown to get around Braxton DeWeese, and then drops back down to midtown in front of Braxton. Now you got 3 lanes going, but Steve Harden right now leading that inside lane, leading the race, and he's got teammate Kevin Bullock and Mitch Diamond behind him. Jeremy, that is an awesome feeling and an awesome sight knowing you have teammates back there, because every teammate is trying to secure the best position for any teammate, and right now, that is that top spot right where Steve is running.
Yeah, fantastic work here. Been glued to each other's bumpers, I think, for the whole 25-plus laps had here, as we're coming up to 4 laps to go for the end of the stage. A lot of movement there on the inside. Apparently no... Let's pull up our TwistedSpeedSetups.com in-car telemetry just to check the fuel mileage. See visually how close they are. So looks like on that, you know, it's a pretty comfortable sight. You don't have to stare at the dashboard. You're still good on the lap count. So they're all eyes up, looking out through the window, not so much the dashboard. Lap 27 underway, and we're still, there was a short glimpse of 3 wide, but then it ultimately fell back to 2.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about this stage break. You don't have to worry about green flag pit stops. You're just going out there running balls to the wall, trying to get the best position, because there is stage points. And again, championship playoffs are going on. Those points are ever vital right now. But Jeremy, with 4 laps to go as it sits right now, Bullock Harden Racing, BHR, dominating that inside line, leading the way. And then you got Kaufman back there behind them. And again, he is the first car 1 lap down. So, is like you said, pending no incidents, he'll get the lucky dog on that. And that outside lane, trying to get something going. They got a little discombobulated there. And now they're trying to get something going. Daryl Johnson trying to get moving. Big pushes from Braxton DeWeese. You got Kaufman moves up there. Finley moves up there. And look at this, Jeremy. This could help out. Finley now pushing his teammate Kaufman to try to get the lap back the hard way. That would then put the lucky dog back on Tyler Bowling. Excellent strategy going on right now.
Yeah, last lap, Tyler Bowling dropped out of the way. He said, why am I doing this? I can't get up there. So he drops out. Nick Kaufman, all of a sudden not restricted to his teammate, finds ways, Dustin. From the bottom mid-pack, drives up to the outside and passes. Oh, contact. The 27 of Steve almost goes around. That was very etch-a-sketch moment there, 3 wide at the line. This is what Nick needs if he wants to give Tyler Bowling a lucky dog. He has to be in front at the time of caution, and he's doing everything to do that.
Yeah, and I don't know if Steve Harden jumped from the low line to give Kevin Bullock some breathing room, because he had been pushing for some time. But, I mean, if he jumped up there just to block the momentum on that next line, I mean, Kaufman was a lap down. I mean, he wasn't a threat. They could have stayed locked up, and look how it jumbled up. And now teammates all separated now. So what they had before that was super strong is gone right now. Now it's Daryl Johnson trying to push Steve Harden in that center lane. You got Bryce Hedgecock up there with Chris Cash and Austin Wheeler. Now 4 wide as we go through the tri-oval right now. 5 wide. 5
Austin
wide.
Wheeler.
Wow, what
Bryce
a move.
Hedgecock.
Oh,
I was just
my.
I was just going to say that Bryce Hedgecock was looking a little left to right motion, couldn't keep that thing stable, and he Austin Wheeler rather, and he in the 48 just split it, man. That was fantastic. Caution is out. Caution is out for the stage break, and Nick Kaufman does get the natural wave around. Tyler Bowling should be your +1 extra lap, extra life, but the highlight of stage 1 is 5 wide racing.
That was that was crazy. I don't know how they kept that going the way that they did. That was 5 wide racing, folks, at Talladega at 190 plus mile an hour. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. Everybody holds their line. I don't even see sparks, Jeremy. I don't see a wobble, nothing. That was fantastic racing. And like you said, the 95 gets back on the lead lap. He was the tail end. That should put Tyler Bowling as the extra lap presented by Extra Life. And Brandon Finley, helping his teammate get back on the lead lap, also pulls in stage win.
And just like that, we are going picture-in-picture mode, commercial break, thanking our sponsors, this and that. And we'll be back to talk to stage winner. And then we'll go green flag for stage 2. We'll be right back.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy jerky. The original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now.
And back full screen here as pit stops are had. We got the number 15, Mr. Tyler Bowling, currently on pit road, getting some damage repaired. But he is our +1 extra lap, extra life award recipient, as he's going to go from 3 laps down to 2. So if he can catch 2 more cautions somehow, he'll be in a decent spot. But until then, he's got to hope and pray. Someone that doesn't have to hope and pray, not too much, at least for winning stage number 1, because he did it. It's going to be that number 94. And I just got to find him right there, Mr. Brandon Finley. Here he is. Brandon, this is Jeremy Dustin in the TV booth. What's up, stage winner guy?
Hey, fellas, how you doing?
Hey, we're doing fantastic. Good vibes up here today, man. Hopefully your team Of course, they always kick butt, but at super speedways, you never know with these things. And you found stage win, man. How'd you get it done?
Yeah, I mean, really, it kind of came by accident. So we had a Tyler Bowling in the 15 ended up having a work dinner that got extended. So he was going to be 3 laps down. So early in the race, when he popped in, he was 3 laps riding around. The 95 went ahead, dropped back to try to keep a little bit of pace. And then when we got back there, my goal actually wasn't even to win the stage, but it was to get the 95 of Kaufman up front, so he stayed on the lead lap so the 15 could get his lap back with the lucky dog so he can start being, so we're not stuck laps down. He has an opportunity to compete. So really a big, almost mini game through the stage, and it just kind of happened with me winning it. So it's good to see the boys are making strategy calls early, and hopefully that pays off late in the race.
Upper left, Dustin. What you got for him?
Yeah, I tell you what, you guys were looking strong out there. I mean, we were calling out the teamwork. We knew exactly what you guys were doing, and you guys played it textbook on that one there. What can we expect from you guys now moving forward? We got the first stage off. We got the second stage, which is the longest of the two. What can we expect out of your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, me and Lesko and I believe Bryce just came down, top off on fuel, kind of put us all in the back with Nick who's back there. Just more teamwork and strategizing. This goes green. It's going to be about who can get on pit road, off pit road, and linked up with people that are friendly, not foes. So that's our game plan here is should this go green, prepare for the pit stop cycle. And if all 5 of us are pushing, doing the right thing, I think we're faster than the field. So hopefully that pays out in our favor, and then it's up to us to figure out who we want to win.
We'll go figure it out, man. You got 60 laps. Have at it. Good luck, and maybe we'll talk to you later tonight.
Thank you, boys.
Yes, sir. From Intentional Wreck Podcast driver, the 94 Brandon Finley Stage 1 winner. Gonna not be restarting P1 here tonight on Stage 2. This is gonna be the 01 and the 48. Kevin Bullock, Austin Wheeler. Here we go. Green flag is out. Only 5 go double wide. Everybody else single file on back. Not sure the call on that one, Dustin, but either way, we are doing it there in the top 4 little breakaway.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people restarted on that inside row because they did exactly what Nate Lesko and Brandon Finley did. They came down to top off, try to get a little bit of that fuel back that they had burnt, so that meant everybody started on that inside line except for the people that stayed out. But it doesn't take long, Jeremy. You can see drivers moving up. Braxton DeWeese jumps up. Daryl Johnson jumped up. Now we're starting to get some stuff moving on that top side. Austin Wheeler now finally getting some help from Blake Trawick as they're trying to get something going. But Kevin Bullock out front leading Al Likens, his pusher behind him as they're still trying to get situated, Jeremy.
Yeah, still some movements to be found to try to find their partners in crime to get to the end here. Now, Dustin, they had more than 30 laps in the fuel tank. They got 60 laps on this restart to go. They can make it on one stop easily. So do you think they're just planning for the overtime just in case? Is that why they would come back down before the green flag?
It very well could be. I mean, they're averaging, depending on if they're out front leading, like I said, fuel burn is an average, but it's averaged about an estimated 36 laps per tank. Now, tires, not an issue. Fuel is where it's going to get it. At 36 laps, like you said, that's a one-stopper, but SMSR does do 3 green-white checkered attempts, so you want to try to have a little in the tank. If I was a betting man, that's why I would have come down to top off too. Run this tank completely bone dry to the last, ounce of simulated Sunoco race fuel that these things have. Come down and pit and try to maintain at least a little bit left in the tank there just in case.
Not really a bad idea as they go middle of the track, which is so odd for me to see. Doesn't matter if it's been Blake Trawick in the 56. Now we got Kevin Bullock in the 01, Austin Wheeler now in the 48. It's just been the middle lane that's been really just been the strong part of the track in these Gen 7s. We're on lap 36 of the scheduled 94 here this evening. Dustin, not even, well, I'm not going to say it, right? Tuesday, you said the flappy thing, and the flappy thing came out. So what do we call it now since we jinxed it? Either way, we haven't seen any incident, period, on the track.
No, they've kept it clean. They've given room. It's been really good. The only Etch-a-Sketch moment was when Steve Harden jumped up in front of Nick Kaufman there. I don't know if it was to block the momentum on that lane, and stuff really got discombobulated and really shaky there for a bit. That was probably one of the the more kind of, clenching the butt cheek moments there, only topped there by probably the Austin Wheeler 5 wide going through the tri-oval was another clincher moment as well. So really only 2 moments there that really, would kind of get you on the edge of your seat a little bit there and worried. And Jeremy, look at this inside lane. Everybody just running that inside lane. Only driver on that outside, you have to go all the way back to outside the top 10 with Eddie Baker, and he's getting help from the one of Dana Ryan right now. Braxton DeWeese back there as well. These drivers are the only ones in the outside lane. That tells me these drivers setting in for the long haul, maybe trying to conserve a little bit of that simulated Sunoco fuel.
Yes, they are, and that's why we're going to go turning up the twos, powered by the butt kicker. Listen to these Gen 7s go around Talladega. Take a moment to relax here as they kind of just fall in line. We'll be back here momentarily. 3 wide for the race lead momentarily anyways. There's a lot of shifting in this lane, Dustin. Here we go. Up, down, downtown, 48 all over the place. The one down, and the 6 is going to absolutely destroy the wall. 2 cars, one in the wall, one just hooks him. And that is going to be our first caution flag dealt with a wreck.
And a
on lap
meatball
43.
on top of that. You see the icon down there, notifications for you viewers out there. Al Likens, meatball. That it means substantial damage. It's going to put him multiple laps down or could force him to go behind the pit wall, Jeremy. So big time implications.
Yeah, they can do about 2 minutes a lap on the repair side there on iRacing, and this is a heavy contact. Just got bumped barely there and got right rear, and then just, I'm so glad that he's in a virtual car right now, Dustin. And there was a lot of shifting literally right before that. I mentioned it. We get to turn number 1, there were 3 wide, and they all fan all over the place. And then this is the result of that.
Yeah, and you see that there was a little bit of contact. You see in the sparks, and Mitch Diamond drifts up half a lane. Left rear clips the 6 of Al Likens. He goes down, and then just a quick snap right back up the track, right in front of Daryl Johnson. Oh, my. And Daryl gets through there with minimal contact. I don't know how. He literally drove underneath Al Likens.
Oakley visor camera is what I'm going to say for the number 60 Daryl Johnson. We got to see what this looks like from his perspective. See if we can get a good view of this. Here he comes down. Here he comes. Bam! A little spark in the cockpit, but that's so close, man. To go that fast and to see the car whip back up the track. That's a clinching moment right there of the race from the 60.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's tough because, I mean, it wasn't anything that Al Likens did. You know, that was just a drift up in the corner there, you know, by the 65 of Mitch Diamond, and just ever so slight contact. And that's all it takes, Jeremy, with these cars. I mean, these things are so aero dependent. I mean, you can sit here and put dirty air on there. You can sit here and push the air on drivers, and it upsets these cars faster than what we realize.
Pit road open this time. Appreciate the admins, by the way. They talked to race control tonight, and they said if you have to throw a caution, do it. If it's multiple cars. So before iRacing probably would have not thrown that caution. We probably would have said, you know, we're going to stay green flag. But we have race control has control of that now. If they want to deem it a caution, the admins totally support the decision. And so thankfully we got a caution for that one, because I did check up a decent amount of the field. It was technically more than one car involved with heavy impact to the outside wall. So just a little shout out there for the admins.
Yeah, and Jeremy, this gives Tyler Bowling one more lap back. Now down 1 lap, only 1 lap behind the rest of the field as he receives his second extra lap presented by Extra Life. So, Jeremy, he's ever closer. I mean, and now he can play this one of 2 ways, depending on when pits happen or anything else. I mean, he's either going to get a lucky dog back or he can get a wave around, whatever the case is. I mean, a number of things could happen. He could race back like Nick Kaufman did and get it back the hard way. I mean, this opens up a lot of possibilities. This is exactly what Brandon Finley was talking about, was, you know, now, you know, after that first extra lap presented by Extra Life was awarded to him, you know, now he's closer to being back in this race, and that's exactly what's happening.
And we're just a few laps away from the halfway mark, so still plenty of time for Tyler Boland to get that one more lap back. And then on the YouTube side, I had a couple of chats, I do believe there. One from Jesus Save saying, wow, Ryan is on the move, woohoo. And then followed up with the crash. Corey Kosh, what was that? Korsheen says, wow. So that was, you know, that was a pretty hard hit there. Like I said, I'm glad Al is part of the virtual world, but we're going to be just past halfway, Dustin, when we go back to green flag here.
And you know what? Just for that, one thing we did not do, Jeremy, is we didn't go Oakley visor cam full speed.
Oh, you want to watch RIP moments here. We got to back this up. Nerd TV Rewind on the Oakley visor cam. We need the full effect from the initial contact to the death of the 6's race car.
Whoop. And then
there's the
just
quick
like
hook.
That, boom! Whole rear end picked up.
I'm really surprised we don't see the whole entire hood in the window at this point.
Oh yeah, because that was a hard hit. I mean, if you're hitting even on the virtual side, if you're hitting the wall hard enough to where the algorithm for the registered G-forces is stating, hey, this is so much G-force that this car is getting picked up off the ground. I mean, there should be no front end left on that body. I mean, I know they got the carbon composite bodies and everything else, but I mean that was a hard hit. You're looking at even sliding, he was still clocking it at probably about 180 mile an hour when he turned and went straight into the wall like that.
And just for funsies, I know this is Talladega, so the stat doesn't count as much, but the biggest movers presented by our Shirtitudes. There's a lot of fun ones up here in the top 5 especially. There you go. Plus 14 for Dylan Ellis. Now 13 depending on where they're cyclists. 13 or 14 spots there from the driver of the 99. Then we have Christopher Cash there up 11. Eddie Baker up 11. That's 3 in the top 5 alone. And then a couple other ones are just throughout the field. And by the way, that is our biggest movers presented by Shirtitudes. Shirtitudes is the lineup of t-shirts on the nerditudes.gg website, which is right there. So some fun old school styled ones and a couple just random fun ones below that. But we also have more than just shirts. There's our updated team uniform that we run when we do sim racing. And then there's our gloves, our hoodies, our custom embroidered hats, all that. If you want our swag, at nerditudes.gg is the place to look, Dustin.
Absolutely. Always some fun stuff. Us nerds, we like having fun. And speaking of fun, we're about ready to go back at it right now. Long line on the inside. Number of drivers came down pit road to top off. Right now, you've got 48, Wheeler, 69, Cash. Your 2 front runners right now. Green flag flies. We are back underway after our first caution. First authentic caution. That first one was actually the stage, but this one here was actually due to an incident. But back underway, Jeremy. Now the question is, we got one driver with significant damage. The 6 of Al Lycan still on pit road right now trying to get that repaired. Tyler Bowling only 1 lap down as it sits. Are we going to see the same style of hard racing right now that we had before that accident happened with 48 laps to go?
The same style of hard-end racing, if one would say.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, they try to get back to the front, try to get organized nose to tail. Right now they got 2 of the 3 cars in the top 6. They're just separated by the 60 of Daryl Johnson. As they got 5 on the top, everybody else on the bottom here off of turn 4 to complete lap 47. Christopher Cash looks like he's going to lead this lap with great help from the 84 of Ed Baker.
Yeah, and right now, Smoky Mountain Motorsports is Chris Cash out front leading for the, well, no, this isn't the first time he's been up there before, but team is doing good. Currently running first to second, depending on where Kevin Bullock's car is on that outside. You got Austin Wheeler second in playoff points, running 5th, and Dylan Ellis, Mr. Swag himself, running 7th. So all 3 members of Smoky Mountain Motorsports sitting comfortably in the top 10, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's an excellent stat there for that team, and show what they're doing here. They're working quite well. Let's go ahead and cycle through a couple other teams since we're just about halfway of this thing. Let's just pull up some random teams there. First and foremost, all the single car operations. Eddie Baker second, Daryl Johnson 5th, Blake Treywick there nice. So 3 single run cars there in the top 10. Christian Marcelli. And then also a notable one there, the number 8, Braxton DeWeese. He's all by himself too, technically, tonight. And there's Whitehead Racing all by himself, Dana Ryan. This is what happens when your teammates don't show up. They get left hung out to dry, and they have to talk to people to get to their teammates.
Yeah. Intentional
Except
Wreck,
for this team.
the Intentional Wreck podcast, they have shown up in numbers. Nate Lesko running 8th, Nick Kaufman 10th, Brandon Finley 11th, Bryce Hedgecock 13th. So look at that 10, 11, and 13 right there. They're all real close, and Nate Lesko in 7th. So again, all lined up. Tyler Bowling in 17th, but he's playing the safe card. He needs one more lap back And then look out for this team here, Jeremy. It's going to be a tough one. And you mentioned about Braxton DeWeese. For Braxton DeWeese Racing, he is the only member out there right now. Just little lonesome him. None of the teammates there. So he's got to try to make do with what he can. But, Jeremy, if anybody can do it, it's the driver of the number 8.
What do you do if you're by yourself and you maybe got a buddy or two and you look over at IWP, the team with a crazy amount of points over any other team? How do you approach that when you know they could all just line up at any moment in time and work their way to the front?
Well, that's where I stack a little bit of that up on the drivers around me. I'm hoping that if I'm noticing that we have 5 team drivers lined up nose to tail, that, teams like, say, Smoky Mountain Motorsports that has 3 drivers out there, you look at Dana Ryan for Whitehead Racing, that's a single car as well, that those drivers would be like, you know what? I know that line of 5 is not going to break apart, so my best chance is going to be going with these other teams here to equal the same amount of drivers as that 5-car train for Intentional Wreck Podcast. You got to kind of work the field a little bit and hope that they are paying attention and have the situational awareness that you have to be able to know that. Sometimes it doesn't work out. We get the tunnel vision. We don't realize that until after we go back and watch the replay, and we're like, shit. Yeah, I didn't realize that Intentional Wreck Podcast was stacked up 5 deep there. Yeah, I probably should have went down and worked with Smoky Mountain Motorsports or Whitehead Racing or Braxton DeWeese Racing, one of those to sit here and have better odds. So it's a gamble. It's a big-time gamble.
Yeah, that would hurt if you try to fall in line between one of those 5 drivers. That's a freight train waiting to happen there, and they're trying, Dustin, do anything on this top. 4 on the top, everybody else on the bottom. Marcelli in the back has been trying to do something with somebody. He just can't get anyone to pass him forward inside the top 10. And here we go. We got the 65 Mitch Diamond. He's right behind Dana Ryan. If he can get around the 1 car, it'll put BHR back 1, 2, 3 nose to tail.
This is what I was talking
You
about.
saw it last time. Yeah, they did it. They did it great stage 1.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. You see BHR lined up nose to tail 3 deep. You see Dana Ryan's in there. That's a single car team for this event tonight. You see Braxton DeWeese there. That's a single car team for tonight. So you see what they're doing. Okay, let's sit here and start stacking some of these teams up to get 5 drivers so that we have something to compete with. That's what it's going to take. The question is, will their timing be there? It's great right now when we have 42 laps to go, but you got to try to get this organized to cross that line for the checkered flag.
Dustin, Dana Ryan in the 1 car does not want BHR hooked up down into turn 2 and on the back straightaway. Dana Ryan was blocking and he was moving. He's going to give it up there. The 65 Mitch was putting way too much pressure on halfway in the race to make it worthwhile. So he finally backs out of line and goes to the end of the field. But that I saw at least 2 times of contact, and that could have been big for that team. But they're hooked up now, but they're by themselves. So they're going to casually just fall back here a little bit.
Yeah, see, and that's what you don't want to do. I mean, you've got to show these other drivers that you're willing to commit. I mean, granted, when it comes down to just a couple laps left, I mean, any commitments and any deals that you've made, non-verbally on the track just by racing them are out the door. It's one for all at that point in time. But, I mean, this hitting the midpoint of the race, this is what, I mean, you got to show that you're committed, that you can run there and be there because, I mean, being a solo operation essentially for this race, you're at a huge disadvantage, like Braxton DeWeese, Dana Ryan. They're at a huge disadvantage. They don't have any teammates out there, so you have to make do with what you have, and doing, stuff like that, it's probably not going to help your cause when you're going to need that help later on in the race.
100% there, especially with single car. Like, you're just trying to make a friend out there, and you get shuffled back. You want to work with them. Absolutely. So 100% agree with that. But look at BHR though. Even by themselves, Dustin, they initially fell back, but they are slowly crawling forward. And now they got the lead car, the 01 Kevin Bullock, inside the top 5, barely. as Steve is trying to do anything for Kevin. And this is about where at most they stall out as we get a nice little backwards view from the 69, Mr. Christopher Cash, the race leader.
Yeah, Chris is out there leading, and I mean, you see it. Every car lined up on the inside except for BHR. They're trying to get something going. Granted, they got, just over half a tank of fuel estimated left in their cars, and they're trying to get something going. The issue is it is so tough with this package, this Gen 7 package. It's momentum driven. It takes a lot, and it takes very little to mess it up, but they're starting to make some gains now. Eddie Baker been giving some big pushes to Chris Cash, but here comes Kevin Bullock and the rest of BHR on that top side. They're finally getting that run, Jeremy. We're going to have a race for the lead.
And that's when Mitch Diamond released him, too, a little bit to cool off his engine, and they still made some moves here. Now Mitch is going to give a big slam to Steve, which then transfers that momentum to the 0-1 of Kevin Bullock. And they get to about Eddie Baker's door panel, and then just like that, Deletus goes the 1. He's going to go from 2nd to 5th, just like that. And this is going to be a version of what we call rinse and repeat, I think, until they get somebody else up top.
Yeah, it's right now, they're getting beat by temperature. That is what it is, because, I mean, they know how to maintain momentum. They have proven that. They've shown it. They've moved up quite a bit on that top side. They are getting beat by temperature right now because the 27 of Steve Harden has to back off to cool his engine to get some air to it. You'll see him poke out to the right, poke out to the left, depending on if his oil is overheating or if his water's overheating. You see Mitch Diamond do the same thing. They are getting beat by temperature. That is what is holding him up. You see even the inside lane is doing that. 48 is laid off of Eddie Baker there. Dylan Ellis in the 99 is laid off. They're getting some space in between there, because they've been running solid now for a number of laps. In the temperature game, it's real, Jeremy. It is a tough thing. The best super speedway drivers are not always the fastest drivers, but they're the ones, and no, I'm not going to say the one who refuses to lose. I'm not using the line from Dale Earnhardt's past. They're the ones that can maintain their temperature and keep the momentum going.
I thought you were going to bring out the bloodline there from Roman Reigns. We are the ones. Finger in the air. But here we go. We are on lap 59 now, the schedule 94. We are 2/3 of the way. We're going to take potentially our second and final picture-in-picture commercial break of the evening, and this should be before our green flag pit stops. We'll be back shortly.
And we are under our second caution. Big time implications. Had to cut the commercial short there. Brandon Bullock Harden Racing, my apologies. Trying to get everything they could there, and looked like the side draft was just a little too much. It looked like Kevin Bullock was there. Looked like Dylan Ellis might have come up just a little bit there. Kevin Bullock was not expecting the 99 to be that high up the track. But Big time implications there, and this is going to collect a lot of drivers. Dylan Ellis was running a little higher going through that tri-oval than what was expected. The top line there goes to go down, and there you see Dylan Ellis drifts right up, makes contact with the 0-1, and the rest, as they say, is history. And this, Jeremy, is going to collect a lot of drivers. Going to collect the 0-1 of Bullock, 99 of Ellis. Going to collect Mitch Diamond into it. Yeah, it's going to, I mean, all of BHR just got taken out. Looks like Blake Trawick got a part of it. Nate Lesko died jumping through. Oh, your stage 1 winner. Brandon Finley gets tagged as he tries to go through. Looks like the 60. Daryl Johnson involved as well. The 104 of Christian Marcelli involved, trying to lock it up. A lot of carnage in this one right here, Jeremy.
Yeah, the 99 just drifted up, man. Just, it's a mental game at this point in time of the race. And you got to just hyper-focus and try to lock in, even though you're just staring at the same bumper lap after lap after lap. And yeah, this is going to be a decent-sized wreck for the amount of drivers we got. And, oh, man, you got to feel for BHR, especially all their drivers just collected in this one. We'll see how many cars get 100% repaired as the entire field, not just for gas, but for the damage on quite a bit of cars, getting their virtual repairs. They have plenty of time to get over 2 minutes per lap, Dustin, at this Talladega Super Speedway.
Yeah, and it's a heartbreaker. Because like I said, I mean, it's one thing as a driver if you were the one that, that was the cause of that ended up wiping your teammate out. I mean, it's happened to Nerd Esports. It's happened to us. I've done something stupid that's collected drivers. We all have. But when it's a situation...
Hang out off the drive.
Yeah. Getting hung out to dry by a teammate, going for a championship. Don't know what happened, when that would have happened, Jeremy.
No.
But, hey, you brought it up this time. I was letting it die, man. I was letting the dog die. You brought it up. But in the situation for Kevin Bullock, I mean, it's a heartbreaker because it wasn't anything that he did, and then it inadvertently collected the rest of his team, and they were running so good. Probably some of the best teamwork that we've seen out there, aside from Intentional Wreck Podcast, with their work in trying to get Kaufman on the tail end of the lead lap. And it's a heartbreaker, and it collected a lot of drivers. There's a lot of drivers with damage right now. Still drivers on pit road. Daryl Johnson, Brandon Finley, Kevin Bullock, Christian Marcelli, Mitch Diamond, Daniel Ellis, still on pit road. So we can't even bring up the AI Chief patch-up report right now because they're still getting repairs done.
Look at the bottom left-hand side of your screen. That's probably the most notable. Tyler Bowling, welcome back to the lead lap. Car number 15, going to get that +1 extra lap, extra life award recipient thing that we hand out to the guys who get their lap back. And he gets 3 of them, Dustin. And he's out here going to be battling for a race win. Welcome back after 63 laps of just trying to play catch up. Most of the times when I'm in these predicaments, it doesn't work for me. But Tyler Bowling has got life back in that 15.
Yeah, and that's an awesome job. I mean, excellent job by the drivers and the teams. And for him to do that, that's why you never give up, Jeremy. I've seen laps get back. I think the most I've ever gotten back, and it was at this track, was 5 laps down. I got all of them back by virtue of staying out, wave arounds, lucky dogs, because that league calls them lucky dogs. So at the Nerds, it's extra laps. But it's tough. But, I mean, that's that never give up attitude, and Intentional Wreck Podcast and Tyler Bowling and his teammates, that's exactly what they did, and now they're there, Jeremy. They're all ready, racing, ready to go. Nick Kaufman up in 3rd right now, talking about Intentional Wreck Podcast. You got Bryce Hedgecock in 8th, Nate Lesko in 9th. So I mean, it's they're there. I mean, they're ready to go. I mean, Brandon Finley's the only one right now still getting repairs going, but we'll bring up that patch-up report right now presented by AI Chief, Jeremy. And look at that, 2 minutes, 22 seconds, 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Yeah, 2 minutes, 53 seconds. It's like we're in a bid war right now. Dylan Ellis, almost 3 minutes all the way down to 0 seconds. I don't know how 0 seconds calculates in, but 0 seconds for Steve Harden and Eddie Baker.
It's that AI software, you know what I'm saying? Just not. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's a pretty stacked one. That was next to nil before that caution. Now they got over half the field in that list. Topping it with 253, Dylan Ellis, who happened to bring out this caution. So he is EOL regardless with the damage. Pace car down. We're going back to green flag on lap 64. So this would be 31 laps remaining in the second chase race
No pit stops,
of the
Jeremy.
2026 season. No pit stops. It's just hammer down. Get to the front. Do what you got to do. This is where I expect more 3 wide. And here we go. They are going in a good start from the top 5 or 6. They kind of spaced out. The outside really just didn't go.
Yeah, your first two obviously went. I mean, and that's going to be the 69 of, 69 of Chris Cash, Austin Wheeler. But again, Smoky Mountain Motorsports there. So teammates, they could have counted that down. That could have been a thing. They had a good jump there. Everybody else spaced out. But another stat, Jeremy, we have not had a chance to bring up as these drivers still trying to figure out where they want to go, is our lap leaders presented by TwistedSpeedSetups.com. Chris Cash currently leading the way, 15 laps led. Blake Trawick, who was involved in that last caution, presented by iRacing iFlag, 10 laps led. Kevin Bullock, 9. Braxton DeWeese, 8. And Al Likens currently still in the pit, 6 laps led. That is your top 5 lap leaders, as well as everybody else that has led a lap in tonight's event.
It's quite a bit of drivers. It's actually, it kind of surprised me to see that many different leaders out at Talladega with the amount of drivers present here this evening. Thank you, Twisted Speed Setups, for being a fantastic new partner to us in 2026. We got them plugged in a couple spots there. And we're 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. You saw the one of Dana Ryan. He dropped back, and he's going to lose the draft right on that restart. He went down below the double yellow, gave it up, and I think he gave up too much as he's just now coasting by himself.
Yeah, it's that momentum thing. You got to be careful. If you're going to pull out a line like that, you got to try to maintain. This is the same, a very similar draft package to the trucks, Jeremy. If you get a second off, that draft is gone. Now, old draft packages, like for the trucks, you used to be able to get 1.4 to, at the least, at the furthest, 1.5 seconds and still have a sniff of draft. Not anymore. You get 0.9 to 1 second off, and it's gone.
Let's ride on board here a little with the 15 of Tyler Bowling. First time he's been a race participant here tonight. He's trying to chase the draft of Nate Lesko a little bit. 3 wide, momentarily drops back to 2 wide. The 15's now learning to work with the draft for the first time, as we've been calling this race for a little bit over an hour now. As we're 10:17 Eastern, 9:17 Central. And he's just kind of chilling right now. We see a little bit of 3 wide. Nate to the top. He's going to get a little slingshot. The 15's going to go with. It looks like Mitch Diamond as well. Now we got 5 on the top here, 3 wide.
Yeah, 3 wide, and they're trying to get something going, Jeremy, and this is what other drivers needed to kind of worry about, is trying to know where these teams are at, because these teams are going to naturally flock and congregate with one another, and it can be a devastating force.
It's almost even now, top versus bottom. A little bit more on the inside lane, led by the 84 of Eddie Baker. You got Daryl Johnson and Blake Trawick, your top 3 on the inside. Top 3 on the outside. Bryce Hedgecock there in the 1895, Nick Kaufman, and the 20 of Mr. Nate Lesko.
And the 15 of Tyler Bowling. That's all 4 Intentional Wreck podcast right there. Full team. Minus
First
Finley.
time. Yeah, minus Finley, of course. Braxton DeWeese by himself. He jumps up. First time we don't see the Nesquik sponsor on the 20. Has me scratching my head for a moment, but outside of that, they got a good run here off of turn 2. They should, in theory, stay nose to tail with each other here on the back straight.
Quadruple cleared. They stay up on that top side right now, led by the 18 of Bryce Hedgecock. But Jeremy, that whole team quadruple cleared the inside lane, and now they drop down, leaving Braxton DeWeese up there with Steve Harden, Austin Wheeler, and Chris Cash trying to get something going on that top side. And that's what organized teamwork is going to look like at Daytona and Talladega. They got the whole team up 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And they all just go single file this time to the bottom, which has been the middle groove for the most part, but the team is going to feel comfortable. They're riding the double yellow line here. Very nice. Lap number 69 underway here
Giggity.
as we're approaching very much so the 20 to go marker here in just a few laps. Now Tyler's in P4. Dustin, do you feel bad when you're gifted all these moments and all of a sudden you're at the end of the race when the first 60 laps you weren't even really trying?
Absolutely not. It's to be expected at Daytona and Talladega. Jeremy, we've been in races where we've been in the back for 95% of the race, and then we were up there battling for the win in the last 5 to 10 laps, and we've had that reverse where we've been up front the whole race, and somebody we never even seen on our relative or anything else all of a sudden was up there to our outside battling for the race lead. So it's to be expected here. If I was Tyler Bowling, count your blessings, because it's 3 laps down. That's a pretty tough hill to climb there. It's like ice skating uphill, and he was able to overcome it with a little bit of luck and a little bit of help from teammates. And he's making the best of it. And that's what you got to do in this situation.
I can't even ice skate on a flat surface, so couldn't imagine going uphill with that thing. And YouTube chats, we got some people on here. They got Brian Brooks saying, "Let's go, Dana." The Real Biddy saying, "Dana riding for the win." And then we switch gears here. Silly Snug saying, Bryce. And Adil Khan Deshmukh says, "Here we go, Bryce. Here we go." And then Corey again chiming in saying, "Great teamwork, guys." Yeah, the teams are definitely doing what they can with what they have. They're doing a great job at it. I agree.
Yeah, and obviously them saying, Bryce, we're talking about your current race leader in that number 18, the Fruity Pebbles machine, Bryce Hedgecock. Again, been out there running in the back most of the night. We hadn't called his name a whole lot, but Jeremy, that's what we're talking about, is we're down to 24 laps to go. Now it's the time to start shitting and getting a little bit, and that's exactly what Intentionally Wrecked Podcast did. Nick Kaufman jumps up to block the momentum on that high side in front of Eddie Baker. He's going to challenge his teammate now. Intentional Wreck Podcast race for the lead. Nick Kaufman is going to get propelled up there. Is he going to drop down in front of his teammate right now, or is he going to try to sit here and maintain the momentum up on that top side?
I don't know if I'd be blocking Eddie Baker at this moment in the race. 84. He's no stranger to putting himself in a position. If he feels like he is doing what he needs to do, I wouldn't move him around. But there's the block again. It's going to put him to the outside wall. How does Eddie Baker react to this one? No draft help here.
And Jeremy, these two drivers,
the better man here.
Yeah, these two drivers have had a run-in at Watkins Glen. So that's not going to be mending any wounds that were healing up or anything else. There is, Eddie Baker had the run, went up there, and that was a ill-timed kind of late block there to try to block the momentum, and Eddie Baker got put to the wall. But now he gets help from Austin Wheeler trying to get that third lane going as it sits right now. And really, Jeremy, it cost that center line. Nick Kaufman falling way back now. Braxton DeWeese trying everything he can. But right now, it's Bryce Hedgecock, Nate Lesko, and Tyler Bowling up front.
I'm sure not the index fingers out the window of the 84 as he passes the 95 on the back straightaway. He's got 5 on the top. Up, Christopher Cash is going to leave the 40. Oh, he tried to, but he actually got stalled out a little bit there. As the top lane now in third place, looking to get to second at Nate Lesko's door panel. Now to the 18. And for the first time in a little bit, the outside is going to lead this lap.
Yeah, Braxton DeWeese getting big pushes from Eddie Baker there. Big pushes from Austin Wheeler. Chris Cash as well. They quadruple clear right now. They are clear. All 5 of them clear. So that top line cleared 5 cars to drop down in front of Bryce Hedgecock. Now Bryce Hedgecock trying to gain way. Nate Lesko was side by side there with his teammate Kaufman. Now Intentional Wreck Podcast going to try to regroup, go to that outside with 3 of their team cars as Braxton DeWeese in the number 8 leads the way.
Oh no! Here we go. It's going to be the 20 and 8 Lesko, the 95 Nick Kaufman.
Oh, teammates! Oh. And that's your championship points leader right there.
Yeah, it's Nate Lesko there, 95, and it's going to be the 27 of Steve Harden. That's going to be the one making some contact with the 20. Is we're going to go a little VHS rewind to see exactly what happened here.
Yeah, that almost looked very similar to what happened with the 99 of Ellis. Just drifted up, only this time in the corner, drifted up in the corner. Left rear contact on the 20 of Nate Lesko. He goes sideways, tries to correct it, spins right back up in the trajectory of his teammate, 95 of Nick Kaufman. Sandwiches both of them hard into the outside wall. And Jeremy, that looks like it's just those two that were involved in that. But man, big hit for Intentional Wreck Podcast, depending on what damage is going to be accumulated for these drivers.
Yeah, we'll have to find out there. Is the 95 just innocent bystander gets smashed by the 20 after the contact with the 27 to his left rear quarter panel here to bring out. Dustin would call it the third natural caution here this evening with just under 20 laps to go in this event. They get a little spicy, a little mix up there. This is what Talladega is. It's here to spice up the rest of the recipe here for the postseason.
Yeah, well, Jeremy, and we've been talking to a lot of the drivers building up to this. I mean, we asked them what their thoughts were last week at the conclusion of Charlotte for the Nerd TV podium interviews. And this is the track that the drivers know that they have a chance to win, but it was the one that they probably were not looking forward to near as much just because it's a wild card. Look at the situation. I mean, you have your leader in the playoff points and fourth place in the playoff points, both on the same team, just got collected in that incident, damage on their cars, don't know how competitive they're going to be tonight. That is playoff championship implications right there. We've seen, a couple other drivers sit here and take a hit as well. So Brandon Finley, who was in the playoffs, he took a hit as well, damage, and this is what they were not wanting. Right now, as it sits, Braxton DeWeese, Austin Wheeler, depending on how much damage these other championship contenders have, they are looking to bank big time on this track right now here at Talladega just because of it being such a wild card.
Yeah, and it's proven to be that, and it continues to prove to be that almost every single time. Here is your Stage 1 winner. Also, the first time winner of the +1 lap, extra life award. Brandon Finley going to be driving back around to the lead lap here. And car number 94 is going to put 13 on the lead lap when we go back to green flag, which will be in 1.5 laps from now. And, let's try to talk to a driver. I think we should pull anybody. As far as I know, I have full-fledged agreement to pull anybody. Is that correct?
Yeah, as far as I know.
All right. Well, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pull a name out of that hat here inside this top 5, and we're gonna talk to him. Let's go. Let's give someone else a chance here that's been doing pretty good. I'm gonna pull on Eddie Baker, driver of the 84. He's been doing a stellar job here tonight. Eddie Baker, this is Jeremy and Dustin, the Nerd TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey man, I just wanted to pull a random person in here that's inside the top 5 and doing well here tonight before we close this thing out. First off, how's the car after that slight wall contact with you in the 95? And then also, what's your chances, man? You're doing a fantastic job keeping this car up front all night long.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel any damage coming from it. I don't think I got it too hard, but I got a wicked shot from the 8, and then I think I tried to go to the outside, and the 95 mirror drove a little bit, and he seems to be enjoying mirror driving tonight. So, I mean, a little bit of damage, but probably not much to affect it. We're going to try and give it hell here and get this win. I mean, plate racing's usually one of my strong suits, really good with moving the air and side drafting. So, kind of got an alliance with the Smoky Mountain boys tonight, so it's good to see us all up here. Just having fun, not getting a DNF so far. Knock on dashboard.
Knock on dashboard. That's a new one. Dustin, what you got for Eddie here on this final lap?
I tell you what, man, it's you've been making some moves, like you said. I mean, working it. What is it going to take? I mean, it takes a lot of organization to get that top line going. You said you have an alliance with Smoky Mountain Motorsports. What's it going to take for that top line? Do you think it's going to come from the top line? Do you think that win's going to come from the bottom line tonight?
It really just depends on how people can get bunched up, and if people are really pushing and using the bumper, it kind of stacks the bottom lane up, and the top will prevail. But if people kind of roll out of it and work the throttle a bit and just keep that air cushion, then the bottom's a little bit faster. But hoping I can get lined back up with the 48 and the 69 here and see what we can do.
All right, man. Well, good luck the rest of the way, and maybe we'll talk to you after this thing's over.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Moved him back there into the Smoky Mountain Motorsports.
And he's spot on,
Racing
Jeremy.
Channel.
I mean, that's the best way to put it. It all depends, and we've been talking about it all night, that momentum. It all depends on the spacing and how much the drivers are looking to push. The more spacing there, the less organized that lane is. And like he said, if that top line can stack up, nuts to butts, that the top line's going to prevail, and that winner's going to come from the top side. But if there's any spacing, if there is any hesitation on that top line, that bottom line is going to prevail. And Jeremy, only time's going to tell at this point in time. We are, minimal laps left. We're about to find out.
And 4 on that, and here we go. We're going to have lap 78 restart this race, which will be somewhere between, 20... No, not even 20, about 18, 17 laps to go, somewhere in that ballpark. Pace car is down. Braxton DeWeese, P1. Eddie Baker, 2nd. Austin Wheeler, 3rd. Bryce Hedgecock, 4th. And Christopher Cash is your top 5. Waiting for the restart zone. 3, 2, 1. Green flag back in the air for the 5th time here this evening. And the 8 gets a decent launch. He's going to bring the 84, or start the 48 with them. Does not look like the 84 can drop in.
Yeah, no, it does not look like it is right now. He is side by side with 3rd in line on the inside, Chris Cash, and that's Blake Trawick. Inside line got an excellent start. All 4 of those cars nose to tail right now. There, the 84 Eddie Baker's able to drop in back there behind the 56 Mustang of Blake Trawick. So now, Jeremy, 17 laps to go. This is where it's going to start moving, and not to, bring puns to move in, but Blake Trawick, first driver in that line of 4 to jump out on that high side. He's going to try to draw the 60 of Daryl Johnson up with him, but it's going to take a few laps, Jeremy, to get that momentum built.
For me, it's always puns intended. You can do what you want there, but I believe in you. If you want to bring out the moo, again, feel free to do it. We are here for it. You like to claim us as nerds of this, nerds of that. We can be the nerds of the puns.
We absolutely can.
Why not? Full send it there, bud, as one would say. But top 5 single filed out here. 848, 69, 84, 18. That's your numbers in that top 5 single filed out on the inside lane. Lap 80 coming up this time, and I think for the first time from my perspective, the Boozy Tipsy camera is charged up enough to do some laps.
Yeah, it's going to go sky high here, a little wobbly, but that's to be expected from Tipsy there, the mascot for Boozy Jerky, but starting to get that momentum built up. Daryl Johnson, big pushes to the 56 of Blake Trawick right now. They're starting to get a little move, but look at the spacing on that inside line. And right now, Jeremy, not that big of a situation, not that big of a deal. They're not getting challenged on that top side as of yet, so no sense to get those temperatures built up, no sense to burn it up. They're just riding clean right now. Braxton DeWeese leading the way.
Speaking of food products, Silly Snugs, after saying Bryce, says, if Bryce wins tonight, I'm eating a big-ass bowl of Fruity Pebbles. You know what? That's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. And he has a chance. He has a solid, legitimate chance as it sits right now, Jeremy. Running back there, 5th place. He's in line. He's been up front leading, perfectly capable. So, you know what? You may be eating a bowl of Fruity Pebbles before the night's over.
I think so. And then Weezer 8 on the chat saying, great push in 84. That was earlier to the 8. Weezer, what do you think about your driver? Does he have a chance for win number 2 of the season? He's in a great spot right now as the outside is trying to get things hooked up. They're just not there yet, but they have still 13 and a half laps to go to figure something out. They've done it before. They can do it again. There goes Dana Ryan. He's going to try to slingshot himself on the outside.
Yeah, and that's the thing. These cars, they've got the momentum like that, so you can pull out and you can surge ahead by, 2, 3, maybe 4 cars, but without the help, you're going to fall right back again, and that's what happened with the one at Dana Ryan. Just does not have the help up there, not organized as he falls back in line on that inside line right now. But, Jeremy, that outside line that we had 5, 6 cars on, now 3 cars with the effort of the 4th one there of Dana Ryan trying to get back up there. Not the organization that you want to try to make that late race surge on that top side to try to make a bid for the win.
Locked in a little bit of movement in the back half, but we're still just waiting on the front 5 or 6 to kind of break the little run here. As soon as I say that, there we go. There's the 15 and the 18. They're going to try it. Maybe not. No. Maybe that's trickery. Nope. He's going to get one more little pull from the 84. Bryce trying to lead the outside surge. 5 up top. Can they do something with it? We are at the line for 12 laps to go.
Yeah, 12 laps to go right now. Now, Nate Lesko, Brandon Finley are not on the lead lap, but they are teammates to Bryce Hedgecock and Tyler Bowling, so they are doing everything they can to get their Intentional Wreck podcast teammates up there in the top spot, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Plus, if they can get up there and they can get their teammates cleared, they could do exactly what Nick Kaufman did and maybe try to get their lap back the hard way and get out there and start breaking the lead up a little bit and break that win to try to sit here and help their teammates. And right now, Bryce Hedgecock, Tyler Bowling out front. Both drivers cleared, double cleared. Lesko almost triple cleared.
There it goes. The outside is moving really nicely here as Weezer 8 did answer my question. He said he has to keep that 3 dips ice cream shop Mustang up front. Well, I guess the scoop slipped off the waffle cone there as the outside is moving strong. He's going to have to find a way to get back to the front there with the people that he's got behind him currently.
Yeah, and that top lane, I mean, just like that, Jeremy, just like the flip of a switch, how quick the momentum changed. The inside lane had all the momentum, then it went to the outside, and look at all the cars on the outside right now that we have up there, led by the 18 of Bryce Hedgecock, Tyler Bowling in P2, and then it's Blake Treywick in P3. It is not Nate Lesko or Brandon Finley. It's actually Blake Treywick right behind Finley there that is in P3 as they're trying to get pushed. Now, that top lane is cleared all the way back to Blake of that bottom, but they are maintaining that top lane.
Doing quite well. Look at that strong number of guys. You got Dana Ryan. He's been trying to put his car anywhere and everywhere all night long, and he's doing it, Dustin, all by himself with a little bit of assistance here and there, getting a great shot there by Braxton DeWeese, keeping him up front. This one car, remember, just 5 laps ago was on the outside by himself, almost last place. But he is finding the lane somehow without friends and doing a pretty good job at now being in the top 5.
Yeah, it's all about maintaining that momentum. Rode the momentum of that top side. The second he was cleared on that bottom, dipped down there to maintain the momentum. And now, side by side with third in line on the top, that's Nate Lesko. Almost up there with the 15 of Tyler Bowling. So now we're starting to get some momentum changes here. What's going to happen? 9 laps to go, Jeremy. Bryce Hedgecock still leading the way. Tyler Bowling, P2.
Top 2 single filed out. Does Tyler stay to the outside? I would imagine he does. Been quietly sitting inside this top 5, just hanging tight behind Bryce Hedgecock right now. Dane O'Brien in the top 4, almost top 3. Doing a pretty good job. Braxton just hell of a push, man. Just all over the back of that one car. Shoving him through 3 and 4. That's what Tyler's doing now. He cooled off hinge engine. He's also pushing Bryce all the way through 4. And look at the launch they got off the corner.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It is temperature management right now. Tyler, they had enough of a lead. He was able to cool the engine off without sacrificing their track position. Now back to pushing, and look at that. All 3 of them just surged out in front. And then you got Brandon Finley back there. You got Blake Treywick back there, who's now in a side-by-side battle, and that is Christian Marcelli up there in the top 5. Jeremy, we called his name earlier, and he was just riding in the back. Now he was up there trying to make a push, but all the momentum's gone. 3 wide right now. Diamond in the center, Eddie Baker up top, Marcelli down low. And now all that momentum just shifted now And again, look at that lane in the middle, trying to maintain that momentum for another 8 laps.
7 laps to go at the line this time. Top 6, 7, 8, 9, all single filed out with under 10 laps to go. This is the calm before the storm. If I haven't seen one before, just like that, one goes from the back to the front to the back. Braxton DeWeese is starting to make his climb on the outside as he has the back of the 65 Mitch Diamond. Oh, he's going to swoop to the inside. Christopher Cash has been up front all night long as well. Almost 3 wide up the middle there. Brandon Finley's able to bring himself back in front of the 56, Blake Trawick. And there goes back, middle, outside, inside. It looks like ultimately they want to be in that middle, but the inside is such a cliche thing if you got to block it because it's a shorter way around.
Yeah, and they're making moves right now. You see big time space there from the 15 of Tyler Bowling to Bryce Hedgecock. Had to cool it off temperature, and look what that allowed that inside lane to do. Eddie Baker back up to the point. Austin Wheeler right on him as the top lane tries to get set and formulated back up again. Jeremy, 6 laps to go. This is going to be a nail biter here as these drivers are going to start getting impatient.
Top 3 inside now, single file, as the outside has the strength of numbers, but they were a little broken up that time on the front straightaway. I think they're going to recharge here for their momentum shot, which will be in a couple laps, I would imagine. 6 on the top, no, 5 on the top, everybody else on the bottom. That was a good move by Braxton DeWeese, put himself in the bottom. Instantly, he's going to pass 2 cars plus, maybe 3. There goes Ryan to the outside, making his solo moves once again, hooking up with the 18.
That's not a bad.
That's the right
not,
call, though.
No, I mean, they know how to push. That's not a bad call when you're a single car operation out there trying to get up there, but a lot of space in between the 15 and the 1 right now. Braxton DeWeese back up from the downtown to midtown. He's going to get behind the 56 of Blake Trawick. They're trying to get something moving. But, Jeremy, they're running out of time. 5 laps to go. And this lead pack right now, led by the 84 Eddie Baker, they are just out for a drive right now.
4.5 laps to go. They got some momentum going now, and it almost feels like to me, Dustin, that they want to be on the bottom and then they're using the outside as a leapfrog. I'm seeing so many drivers go from the bottom to the middle and then back to the bottom within the same lap. But now the momentum is starting and finally is there. Mitch Diamond leading the way. 65-56 versus the 84-48, 2 symmetrical number sets. Until the 56 got shuffled out, now it's Braxton DeWeese behind Mitch Diamond.
Yeah, Braxton DeWeese pushed it 3 wide, shuffled the 56 of Blake Trawick out of line. He's going to be stuck in that sucker hole up top all by himself. Mitch Diamond still trying to lead it, but see what happened just on that single car shift, Jeremy. That outside lane lost momentum there, and they fell back about 2 cars. Now we got a 3rd lane coming in as the 1 of Dana Ryan jumps up there. And then everybody shifts and goes back down. Braxton DeWeese now stuck in that sucker hole up there. Mitch Diamond leading the center lane with the 60 of Daryl Johnson being his pusher. But, Jeremy, all of this movement here is just breaking the momentum up, and it's just helping that inside lane out.
Yeah, it's absolutely helping that inside lane. And this upper lane is kind of like, oh, no, there goes
Mitch Diamond around.
Marstelli, 2 cars around underneath. The double yellow. We stay green flag outside the racing surface. Mitch Diamond gets the worst of this one. Yep, green flag. No caution to be found here. That is completely fair underneath the racing surface. And I could not tell if that was a 65 crossing down. Marcelli stuffing his nose where it did not need to be. Nerd TV Rewind's got it.
And here we go. And this looks like, 104 was drifting up. 64 did come down a little bit, but 104 drifted up a little bit more than that move. And that ultimately is what cost it. But back up front right now, 84. Eddie Baker still leading the way. Now Chris Cash leading that center line. He jumped out from that midline. He's going to be left almost in a sucker hole there. He's trying to get something going. Bryce Hedgecock with a full head of steam on that top side. He's got teammates behind him. 3rd lane trying to get worked in. 4 wide as we go here. It's Chris Cash, Dana Ryan there. 4 wide. They get that situated out as Eddie Baker still leads the way. 2 to go.
Dana Ryan I'm loving watching this 1 car, man. He is so aggressive and doing it cleanly. Going through gaps that you wouldn't think, and it's costing him a decent amount of track position overall, and that might have been the final nail in the coffin to get himself into P1 here with just a lap and a quarter left in this event. Top 4 single filed out. Who's the next people to go jump to the top? It's going to be Christopher Cash, going to go far wide over Daryl Johnson in the car 60. White flag, 1 lap to go, presented by absolutely nobody.
White flag, 1 lap to go. Movement in the back as they try to figure something out. Chris Cash falls in line behind Blake Trawick. Eddie Baker, though, leading the way. No pressure from the outside lane as Braxton DeWeese jumps to the outside, trying to get something going. Thinks better of it, drops back in. No help. Eddie Baker still leads. 48 of Austin Wheeler giving him the push. Eddie Baker blinks out. Not when you want to do that. He's back. We're back racing, baby. Austin Wheeler still giving the push. Daniel Ellis not on the lead lap, but still helping. Steve Harden had to check up. That's going to kill the momentum here. What's going to happen further back? Braxton DeWeese now trying to get something going on that third lane as they come off turn 4. Eddie Baker, nothing but pushing from his unofficial teammate. Here we go. Austin Wheeler out to the outside as they come to the line. Was it well timed? Contact. Austin Wheeler wins at Talladega.
And Blake Trawick steals another top 3 podium finish with a great launch there. Dana Ryan somehow, I said, nail in the coffin, a lap and a half left to go. And he almost finished in 2nd place. He does get 3rd. Fantastic comeback there from car number 1. But Austin Wheeler, this man drives it home. P1 for him. What a fantastic finish to this race.
And you didn't know what was going to happen until it was already happening. I mean, there was so much movement around. Well-timed pass attempt by the 48 of Austin Wheeler. Talladega with the start-finish line being further down that second dog leg. I mean, it sets up for some of the best finishes that you can possibly imagine, but you have to time it perfectly. More so than you do Daytona, because you have to, that run has to build up. You have to give it that time. It well-timed out move. Excellent job by Blake Trawick to squeak out a podium again, back in podium fashion. And Dana Ryan, what a job, man. We thought that this guy was out of contention with all the racing and 3 wide and 4 wide that was going on. And here he is. He comes in clutch fashion to get a podium.
Fantastic stuff there. I'm sorry, Silly Snugs, you're going to have to save that big bowl of Fruity Pebbles for next week. And Austin Wheeler's time to do a burn it down. A moment here on the front stretch of Talladega without him sitting on his driver door panel. And here's the unofficial results for tonight's Talladega Chase race. Number 2, Austin Wheeler, Blake Trawick, Dana Ryan talking to them in the post-race. Followed up with Eddie Baker and Braxton DeWeese closing out in the top 5. 6 through 10 will be Daryl Johnson, Tyler Bowling, Bryce Hedgecock, Christopher Cash, and Steve Harden. And then 11 through 19 is going to be Christian Marcelli, Dylan Ellis, Brandon Finley, Nate Lesko, Mitch Diamond, and then the other guys did not finish, which is Nick Kaufman, Kevin Bullock, Al Likens, and Jeremiah Nelson did technically pop in before, so you'll see his name listed as P19. And we got Blake, we got Austin, we have Dana. We have our top 3. So that means we're going Victory Fuel post-race show. And we're going to talk to each one of these top 3 drivers here this evening. First one, the guy who did not fear any moves whatsoever. This number 1 car, Dana Ryan. Holy cow, man. You impressed me out there tonight.
I kind of impressed myself a little bit.
The moves you were doing, dude, I said with a lap and a half to go, nail in the coffin. You went 3 wide outside of Daryl Johnson. You went to the top, nothing. You dropped almost to last. How did you come home with 3rd place after that?
I'm telling you, it seems like these next gen cars, you got to have help. And if you don't have help, you got to make your own fate. So it takes those kind of moves when, pretty much when you're the Lone Ranger, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you were. I mean, we talked about that throughout the race. I mean, it's you didn't have any teammates out there. You were the Lone Ranger. Braxton DeWeese didn't have any of his teammates out there that he normally did. So he was a Lone Ranger. And it's tough when you come to these tracks like that when you need the help, like you said, you kind of have to earn that help or make your own fate. But I mean, excellent job out there. Walk us through. I mean, this is I mean, I know we're in the playoffs, but what can we expect out of that one car going into the last few races of the inaugural season for the Smoky Mountain Sim Racing Cup Series?
Uh, I try not to look too far forward ahead. I just take it one race at a time. I'm not full time in this series. I don't get to race as much as I'd like to, but you know, just go out there, drive clean, and get some respect from these guys. You know.
And I tell you
I
what,
think
that's what you got to do. What do you say, Jeremy?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I 100% agree, and I think you did that here tonight. You solo driver out there making moves and did it cleanly. So fantastic stuff.
Yeah, we. I tried to stay in the back. I don't know if you've seen me drop down a few times. One time I dropped down too far and lost the
Oh,
draft.
we
And
seen.
yeah,
We covered
I'm
that
like,
one because it surprised us.
and I'm like, well, I'm not going to panic because I have a feeling there's going to be another caution here. And I was about 24 seconds behind, and luckily we caught a caution and was able to get back up there.
Hey man, well, great stuff out there. P3, don't get to talk to you too often, so take this moment, shout out anybody watching, anyone you want to thank before we do let you go here tonight.
You better shout your fans out too, because they have been calling your name all race long.
That's true.
Hey,
I have to scroll to find these things, man. The real Biddy one, Brian Brooks. That's the two biggest ones out there.
oh well, yeah. Biddy's my teammate. I know I got a lot of family watching. My brother, sister, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, my niece. I think my wife's even watching tonight. You believe that?
Okay.
Um, and yeah, shout out to my mother. She might be watching tonight. And yeah, man, excited to finally get a podium in Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, very cool stuff, man. Well, enjoy it. We'll catch you next week for the fourth final race, or I don't know how I'm going to word that. Either way, we got 4 races left after tonight, but congratulations on P3. We'll see you next week.
All right, y'all take care.
You too. Dustin trying to get too fancy with my words, and things happen. So now we're going to move it along to the 56.
Listen,
Mr.
Linda, you're going to have to keep those puns at a minimum for a second.
Nah, I'm going to keep milking it. Blake,
there it was.
Right, yeah, P2 tonight,
Alley-oop.
man. Yeah. Swoosh. Blake, man, you keep taking these podiums, dude. This one, you couldn't tell. Guys who were in last, 2 laps to go, finished third. You not also finishing second. Like, what'd you do to get to P2 tonight, man?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of back and forth accordions there. Honestly, the last lap, I think we're going to like turn 4 at 7th. So my goal was like, yeah, as long as we don't wreck him to the checker, I'm good. But I hooked up with the 1 there, and I'm like, all right, if he goes high, we'll have a run here and see what we can do with it. And I mean, we just flew up there. As soon as they made the moves up there for the win, we went from 7th in turn 4 to finishing second, led laps, was up front, all the way to back, up front, all the way to back. It was honestly really fun for once for a Talladega race. Pretty clean too.
Yeah, it really was. And I tell you what, I mean, it was cool seeing you guys, duke it out and do what you guys did. Now, being Talladega, we talked about this before. We knew there was going to be implications. Championship implications did take place. Nick Kaufman got involved in an incident. He was 4th place in points. Nate Lesko was involved in the very same incident. He didn't finish on the lead lap. He was further back, finishing 14th. This is going to close up some gaps there, especially with Austin Wheeler and yourself. What's your mindset going into the last 4 races of this championship?
Stage points. I gotta start getting stage points. That's what's been killing me all season. Like we just mess up, don't get stage points, and then that's what's really killing us. So if we can kind of get that figured out, might be a fight for the points. We'll see. But that's the big thing is just getting stage points. Like it's not helping at all being like 13th, 14th every time when the stage hits. So that's a lot of points leaving on the table.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I know you came in over 100 points out, but this is going to close that gap up quite a bit. So good luck to you the rest of the way. But you've done this quite a bit now. Any final words before we let you go?
Yep, gotta thank you guys every week for the broadcasts up here. All the guys out here racing with these pretty clean races. Everybody watching and splashing their graphics.
There you go, Blake Trawick, P2 tonight, man. We'll see you next Thursday.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Also, fun fact, he was my 12 hours of Bathurst driver there as we completed that actually 2 months ago, I think, at this point in time. But now it's time to load up my freshly new painted Victory Lane presented by Icon Apparel Company as we bring in our second repeat winner of the season with win number 2, Austin Wheeler. Congratulations, dude.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Fantastic stuff out there. You, the 84, there's quite a bit of people that were just consistently up front all night long. You were one of them, so very deserving win overall. When all the chaos started happening toward the end, how did you still manage to keep yourself up front?
Yeah, that was the key. Was just stay in front of the mess. Luckily, we didn't have too many messes. I don't think only 3 or 4 wrecks, which isn't too terribly bad, I guess, for Dega. But we'll take it.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's for a Dega race. It was a very clean race, you know. But congratulations first and foremost on your second victory of the season. I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Blake. This was the wild card. We talked to a lot of drivers in podium last week. Their thoughts, their worries, concerns about Talladega in the playoffs. Playoff implications. That was like the cornerstone, and boy, did we have them today. Nick Kaufman got involved in a wreck, finished P16. Nate Lesko involved in the same wreck, P14. That's your first and fourth place in title contention right there. That's going to close the gap up. So with this breath of fresh air here, closing that gap up between you and Nate Lesko, 63 out at the start of the race, much smaller this time. What are you going to have to do to close that gap up and make a bid for this championship in the next 4 weeks?
Yeah, a race like this is exactly what we needed to have a chance. With him being 63 points ahead and only being 16 to 18 cars per week, it's kind of hard to gain a lot of points unless I win and they finish in the back. That's the only real way, and I don't see it happening much anywhere else except for here. So this is our best chance to get closer, and then now we can just try to fight the points, come a little bit every week. I think we got to get like 6 or 7 points on them per week to be able to be there in Homestead. So we're going to give her hell.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. That's all you can do for these final 4 races. 1 month left. So, man, congratulations on the second checkered flag of the season. Well earned. Any shout outs you want to give out?
Yeah, shout out to the league, everybody coming out here to race tonight. Actually haven't had fun at Dega in a really long time, and tonight I actually enjoyed it. Not just because it's running well, but everybody was drafting pretty good, and it seemed like both lines can get going if the right guys got in them, so that was a lot of fun. My team, Smoky Mountain, and Eddie Baker tonight, he was kind of being a chartered team and helping us out a little bit and try to get more numbers so we can compete, and it worked out really well. So thanks to Eddie Baker for helping us out tonight. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting, and let's see if we can talk to you again next week.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Go for the third checker flag. We will catch you next Thursday.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man. And there we go. That was our first place finisher, Mr. Austin Wheeler, second time with the checker flag in hand for the 2026 season. Dustin, it was a very spicy race, and we got 1 month left, 4 races to settle this thing out. I'm going to be watching the points, so if you're not part of the Discord, try to check in on that from time to time, because it's going to button this thing up a little bit.
Yeah, and we heard it from Blake. It's the stage points. That's where it's at. I think that's what Austin Wheeler is going to try to aim for, and Blake Trawick's going to try to aim for, because like he said, that's points being left on the table. That's when things are this close, every point counts, every point matters. So these drivers are going to be given a hell. And you know, it's going to come down to the wire. It really is. I mean, these drivers have been putting on a hell of a show. We got 1 month left, 4 weeks for the Smoky Mountain Sim Racing Cup Series. But Jeremy, we're going to be back, but we're going to be back different starting in June with these guys because we're going truck racing, baby. So be sure you guys tune in for the rest of this season because it is going to be wild. It's going to be fantastic. And it ain't over because be sure you guys tune in next season for trucks as well. So it's going to be a good one. But a fantastic job by the drivers. I don't think we've heard that many drivers in the Nerd TV podium, Jeremy, say that they had fun at Talladega like that. And it wasn't just because they finished well. These drivers, they were putting on a really good show. They were drafting clean. Like I said, that the cautions that we did see was a driver slip up going through the tri-oval. But Jeremy, I mean, like the tri-oval when Dylan Ellis slipped up. I mean, that's right where those bumps are at. We know that these cars are rigid. Going through the tri-oval like that, real easy for it to sit here and bobble up like that. It's one of the hardest parts to do that. There are bumps that go into the corners as well. That was right where Steve Harden sat here and drifted up. So, I mean, the situations we had were minimal. So, fantastic race by all the drivers here at Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, absolutely there. And yeah, that's kind of a weird one. 2 of the 3 drivers are like, yeah, I had so much fun out here. It's like, that's kind of crazy. But I guess that is fun. Austin was, second in practice, 4th in qualifying, wins tonight. So he doesn't know what outside the top 5 looks like in that 48 here this evening.
Facts.
Yeah.
Fair enough on that one. Might be a little different if we go and talk to like Nate Lesko, Kaufman, Kevin Bullock, Mitch Diamond, you know, drivers that had, you know, unfortunate circumstances take place. Yeah, Al Likens. They might not say that they had fun, but it's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah, that's right. But the race turned out great. So appreciate you for doing double duty tonight. We kept the energy great. I thought that was fantastic. And we're going to do it all again next Tuesday and Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Guys, tune in, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You've been doing great for us. And I just want to say thank you for that. So good night. See you next time. Dustin, what you got for him?
And as always, it is not goodbye. Just till next time, folks. Stay nerdy out there.
The rubber moves roll, the fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines cry. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder